Ready?
Hold up.
Alright.
Yeah, you ready?
Woo! Alright, let's go.
We back, motherfuckers. Welcome to A Schmuck and a Fool. It's me, J.O., got the homie G Freezy, and I got the sensual, the beautiful, my wife, Tori Oglesby in the building. What's happening, babe?
Hello.
What's going on? Now, I heard that you want to make a correction of something that I said on the first episode, so what did you have to correct?
Fact check. On episode 1, Justin said I wasn't spiritual, and I am a very spiritual person. So I just need to put that out in the podcast verse. I'm a spiritual person.
What do you mean by that you're a spiritual person?
Like, I believe that all of us are mind, body, and soul. And I believe that, like, life's purpose is to figure out how to perfect and get our mind, bodies, and souls to the best place it can be before we die.
We should have had you here from the beginning. I'd already got super deep.
Yeah,
I don't even have my floaties on yet, and we're already freaking drowning in it. Hey, just as a reminder, the context too. I don't know if you've forgotten, because it's been a few months. The context was actually we're talking about sex and sex being purely physical.
Yeah.
Boy, and that was awkward for me.
Well,
I'm
and
like,
that
man, I wonder what Tori's gonna say to this. As we're talking about, is sex purely physical? Is it spiritual?
Yeah, and that was surprising to me
Oh, for real?
because
To me, it's strictly carnal. Carnal.
I think that's a lie. Maybe that's how you feel now, but I feel like in the beginning it was a very spiritual act for you.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Now, before we get too far into it, I do want to formally introduce Tori. Why we're here. We've been wanting so bad from the beginning for you guys to see our other half. Wave to the audience there. Say hi. So this is Tori Oglesby. The only reason Justin's tolerable. One day we will get my other half, Desiree, on here. Hopefully that'll be our next episode.
Yeah.
The better half of G.
Yeah. I think that goes without saying. But no, last time Justin and I were talking about culture, Cardi B, and like kind of the irony of women in American culture, powerful women, and so on and so forth. We got you on here not just to talk about the other part of Justin that we can't get access to, but also because you are a strong woman in the house. You're a leader in the house, an author, a self-published
author. What?
Yeah.
Man, and so and you got a young lady that you help raise, that you do a lot of the raising with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's my number one piece of work.
Tell us about it.
I've always wanted daughters, and I wanted my daughter to have sisters because I love the bond of sisterhood.
So you failed on that one, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
That's your bad.
But I think there's a clear reason why the universe, God, gave us one daughter, because she's so special and there's so much potential in her. But if it's not nurtured and cultivated, like she can
she could fly off the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
How so?
You could just see like man, when she's just like around people, she like wants to be the popular girl.
Mm-hmm.
She likes other kids as validation, but at the same time she wants to stand out.
Yeah.
So it's like that could go either way.
Yeah, which is also like that's a life lesson that we all have to learn. But because I like dissect everything, I'm like, okay, if we don't nip this in the bud right now, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be this, and then you're gonna be this, and then you're done. So
what were you telling us about you gotta tell us about your decision to homeschool and how that came about, because it's related.
Yeah, so I'm homeschooling next school year, and I just had this light bulb moment of her. She was around some kids, and she was like the worldly normal kid, like just your normal kid who's probably going to go to college or probably not go to college, get a job, work, drink some, work Monday through Friday. Like that was it. Like that's that moment. In that moment, that's what I saw.
How old is Journey again?
She's 6.
So you saw that in 6-year-old Journey in that
that's
moment.
What I'm saying.
Okay.
I did though, and then
but parents need to care that much. Though,
yeah, she cares.
I'm not even gonna bash. Go ahead.
And when we first had kids, we were very into the church, very religious. There was things that we felt were spoken to us by God, how to parent, like how our household should be, and I just feel like we lost when when we got hurt by the church, I feel like we lost that vision. And now it just feels like I'm getting that vision back.
Okay.
And in that moment, it was a very like look at where you got. Like,
Oh,
you
wow.
got this, and that's not anything that you wanted.
Okay.
So yeah. So
So-
I tend to really dissect my children.
But what is that vision? that
I
you got?
want, and it's not like I want them to stand out, like be the superstar. Not in an ego, not
I
in an
got you.
ego way. But I've always wanted them to be different than the world. Like, don't be what everyone else is doing.
Don't fall into the pop culture trap.
Don't fall into the pop culture. She was like,
You don't want her
singing-
shaking her butt on
She was
stage for a
singing
BET
Cardi
award?
B.
And
She
that
was
has
singing-
that's not our influence.
Mm.
That's
and
another
that's,
thing about
yeah,
homeschooling.
I was like, this kid knows Cardi B and Drake, and we don't listen to
Listen to
any
her.
of that. So that was like, oh,
Yeah.
You're telling me that as parents, that's not something you want for your kids to aspire to?
not at
No.
all.
No?
No.
I would have thought that makes parents very proud.
Never.
Not at all. And I
But I was asking, like, the vision that you received from the church, if I may.
Oh,
what
yeah.
was that specifically, and how are you find yourself going back in that direction or not?
so the verse specifically to Journey that was given to us when I was pregnant with her and when I gave birth, like, we felt it was the verse for her life was, what is that, Matthew? A city on a hill.
You are a city set on a hill.
Yes. And like, so let your light shine before men
Mm-hmm.
so that they may see and glorify God. Maybe I might be messing that up.
It's a paraphrase. That's a
Yeah,
good paraphrase.
a really bad paraphrase.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that verse specifically for Journey was like, you are a light for this world. That means you're not going to follow the pattern of the world. You're not going to be the world. You're not going to be like every other girl. That's not going to be fun. Like, that's going to be difficult.
It's not gonna be
Especially,
easy.
it's not going to be easy, especially for her personality, where she is very much like, I want people to like me. I want to, that's going to be a hard lesson for her to learn. But I believe that she was created to do really cool things. And she can do really cool things if it's cultivated and if it's nurtured and if the influences. The world's always going to be there. But while they're young, I feel like parents need to control the influences that their kids.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
you gotta be careful with that word.
Yeah.
I'm very
No,
offended.
you
I'm
do need to
offended.
control the influences.
Hey, but so like Justin and I are opposite sides of the thought spectrum from many, kind of some of the more essential things, right?
Uh-huh.
You, Justin, not considering yourself a spiritual being. See, the thing between you and me is, it's okay that we don't see things like that because we're not raising kids together. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it like? I'm always
Ooh.
curious when I'm seeing your post story on Instagram and whatever, and you are ascribing certain things in your life as blessings and specifically God given, and some of the writers that you write, you can see that they are inspired as well by God. What's that like for you? How do you deal with that? How do you engage with that?
I just let her be her. I don't try to change her.
Yeah, but even like when she's making decisions for Journey
Yeah.
based off
I don't
of
even
this
care.
faith. Okay.
So even if she wanted to do a Christian curriculum, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
Why would I matter?
Why?
Because they're gonna learn good moral virtues out of it.
Okay.
So
He-
if they're gonna be virtuous people, then why not?
Yeah, and you're very much like, I am the leader of the kids.
The kids.
Like, I am.
You, Tori?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
okay.
he's the provider of our family and leads us in many ways. But as far as the kids go, because of his job, because of the situation we're in, I am the kids' overseer.
She knows the kids better than me.
Yeah.
She
He's
really does.
just
She's
the
with
fun
them.
dad.
I'm the
He's
fun
just here to
guy.
have fun.
I'm just a fun dad.
Mm.
They
Like
need
that's my vision.
guidance.
That's my vision for my kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I just want them to grow up in a fun, loving household. That's it.
That's
I just want.
all.
That's all. Like we just have fun together. But she's like the nurturer, the teacher, all that.
Because fun can only go so far.
can
Like,
only go
it's
so
fun to
far.
have a fun time, but then
Yeah.
what are you going to
So
do
she
when
takes
life
that.
doesn't go your way? Yeah. I think I'm, like, in charge of their souls.
Yeah, she's like in charge of like their spiritual being.
So I'm sure you disagree with the biblical perspective
No, I don't care.
of the spiritual leader of the household being your role and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's not true.
But I think...
For me,
Yeah, you don't believe it to be
yeah, I
true.
don't
Well,
believe it to
and
be
that's
true.
another thing. Like, when I do homeschooling, I probably will bring up the Bible. But I am 100% for my kids, Journey, Titus, and Teo, choosing what they want to believe. I'm not here to be like, this is the Bible, you need to believe in this, like, this is law. That's their choice to make.
You're coming at it from like a historical kind of perspective.
Yeah. But I am here to like help guide them, because we don't go to church right now. And, well, honestly, we probably will never go to church again. But because I am a spiritual person and I believe we are mind, body, and soul, I know that they're going to need some kind of foundation for like when pains in life comes. Like, this hurts more than my mind can handle, more than my body can take. What is that? How do I?
That?
Yeah.
Make sense of it.
Yeah, they're going to need something. But whether they choose to be like, well, I want to be a Buddhist, or I want to be a Christian, or I want to be a Muslim, like, that's their journey.
Oh my goodness. She said it. Oh.
Stop it. That's their journey and their choice.
Yeah, I got you. What's it called? I was going to ask you. So, it sounds to me like you really do a lot of the heavy lifting at the house, right? Mm-hmm. Metaphorically.
I'm a disciplinarian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if they're giving their mom a hard time, they gotta come see me.
Yeah. So what do you say to this idea that, for example, you see women, or there's this social thing in the U.S. right now, like the whole wage gap thing, you know, this thing about women still being treated unequal, that women should be afforded the same opportunities. Are you a part of that narrative? How do you feel about it, being that you do stay at home? Do you feel like you work any less than the women that are career women? Like, how do you?
Yeah. I mean,
what would you say to those women?
So I'm not subscribed to that narrative. Like, I don't pay it any attention, because I feel like once upon a time there did need to be feminism, and there did need to be like women rights and a movement. But now I just feel like Americans are so lucky, whether we see it or not. Like, we're so lucky. I get to choose if I want to be a working woman or if I want to stay at home. If we're talking about paid, like being paid, I do so much work and I get paid nothing. And you don't see me being like, there's a wage gap. Like, no. And I know so many stay-at-home moms who are every day doing like the hardest work, and they're not getting paid anything. But they're providing something for their families it's so much more than money.
I agree.
So I don't get it. Like, and I just don't, maybe it's because I'm not a working woman, but I don't understand why women in America are so angry right now.
Well, I think you just established you're very much a working woman. I know I wouldn't trade places with you. I would not trade places with Desiree. I'm not jealous.
I'm not jealous.
I'm jealous of the amount of time you guys get with the kids.
Yeah.
But even Desiree will tell you, like, when we're on leave and vacation and that time is extended, I'm already like, man, how do we do this day in and day out? And she does it with so much grace and patience, and she's always just affectionate. When the little turds give me attitude, I'm sitting there like seething for hours, because I'm just like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you, child?
How dare them?
How dare that?
Freaking Aiden, when he grabs my hand and he throws his little fits, like, you're 9 months old, you better calm yourself. Desiree's like, oh, you're so sweet, I love you, give me a kiss. And I'm just like, no. But, no, I think you guys definitely work hard, and I'm confused too, and when, for example, like yourself, where you can sit there and spend years on a project, write this book, and self-publish, and bring money in, and make a name for yourself, all through social media, all through friends, it's hard for me to say you're oppressed.
Yeah, no.
It's hard for me to feel bad and say, like, things are unfair.
Yeah, and you know, everyone thinks I'm mixed, but I'm a black woman, and I've never played the woe is me, I'm oppressed, wah wah. Like, that's just not what I choose to subscribe to. I am so proud to be a black woman. I'm so proud to be a black person. I think that, if anything, the African American people need to understand that, like, what our ancestors went through is not a sign of our oppression. It's a sign of our victory. Like, they overcame so much. And now here we are on our iPhones with our 2 cars and our big houses, and we're complaining, and I just don't understand. And I know there are ghettos in America. That's an issue.
They got iPhones in the ghetto too.
They do. Like, there's
M&Ms and nice clothes.
Yeah.
Some of these people have
Yeah, it's
better
crazy.
clothes than I do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was watching this documentary about a Miami ghetto. Like
Mhm.
this been I don't know. I just get into these things. Like prison documentary, ghetto
Yeah, it's
documentary.
really deep.
But this one girl was like, she's in the middle of the projects, but she like, oh yeah, my hair costs $500.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
They got nice cars, but that's what you have.
But
the luxury. The ghetto in America used to have luxury items
Yes,
Because you're in America.
because you're in America.
Yeah. But there are true victims.
Yeah, there is.
And no
Yeah.
one should have to grow up. America's too great to have people grow up in ghettos. Like, we can do better. We can do better.
Okay.
So some of that lies on like America, and some of that lies on the individual to want to do better and to get out of that mentality. But I don't know. When I see black people, I'm just like, dang, like our people have overcome so much. My dad, growing up in Ohio, overcame so much. But because of my dad and my grandparents and my great-great-grandparents, I've had a really good life. Like, I can't complain. I'm not oppressed. If I'm oppressed, I'm gonna sound like Kanye.
Oh, say it.
If I'm oppressed, it's because I'm choosing to be oppressed.
Now? Yeah, now.
Now.
Or because of Justin. He seems a little oppressive sometimes.
Or because
He oppresses
Justin.
me. I tell people all the time, this one's my ball and chain. The wind in my sail is
Dang.
Desiree.
Yeah, I agree though.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy how much this stuff, because you can't get away from it now.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's everywhere. I saw just the other day on Facebook. Like, I wasn't even trying to take it this route, this conversation, but I saw it on my Facebook. Like, I don't know how many million shares, and it's this dude having a tweet conversation with somebody about like the Jews had their Holocaust and they're not complaining. Why are black people in America complaining?
Mm-hmm.
And he went on this big rant about why and how, in his view, black people in America are still going through a Holocaust. And I thought that was pretty bold, considering what I've seen at the museums, the Holocaust museums that I've been to. I haven't seen that. Like, I haven't seen lines of black Americans getting pushed into gas chambers. I haven't seen any police forces dragging people out of their house and shaving their heads and using. Like, I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's pretty extreme that there are Americans of any kind that would use that term, considering, like, we talked about this with you last time, where you've come from and where we stand today. Like, for me, I cannot get myself to feel bad about Latin Americans in this country, especially, like, I'm a child of illegal immigrants who got naturalized, and like you said, here we are, big houses, big 2 cars. Like, I'm right there with you. It boggles the mind that we can still feel that way in spite of what's going on.
And there is, that Holocaust term was extreme, but I will say...
He said that they were going through the black people.
You guys are right now Holocaust victims, according to this guy.
No.
I think that now...
That's just ridiculous.
But I do think racism... Now, racism is real.
Well, of course.
I've experienced racism.
Me too.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have. You pretty
I'm
white.
understood. No,
Pretty
I'm
white over there.
understood. No, but all right. So we've gotten racist remarks thrown at us.
Sure.
We haven't experienced racism, meaning that we weren't able
Well,
to
what's
get
the
an
difference?
opportunity.
Discrimination. I would say discrimination.
We were not withheld an opportunity because of our skin color.
Yeah, I've said this.
But
Justin,
wait,
too.
no.
Have you?
Are we like?
Say it,
so
say it,
in
say it.
In my indie author world, me and my writing partner Jay talk about this all the time. White women specifically tend to like thrive in indie author world, and then
Why?
it's like, I don't know.
What's the assumption?
Because they're white.
Exactly.
But I don't
Whose
think that's
fault
true.
is that?
No, listen, no.
Okay, go ahead.
That is part of it. It is because they're white. It is because automatically, I don't care what anyone says, if there's a white woman's profile and a black woman's profile, you're going to be more drawn to this white woman, in my opinion. Most people. And so if all these white women are creating these narratives that get pushed out there, that's what most readers are reading. And because of that, it's like this author supports this author, supports this author, supports this author, supports this author. And then you have the black. My friend Nicole Rice, she's amazing, is the best indie author. I don't understand how she doesn't have a book deal. She's so talented. She's written
What's
4
her
books.
handle?
Nicole, I think it's Nicole Rice. Like Nicole Necole, and then Rice is Ryse.
Okay. Together?
Together.
All right.
She is amazing, and I don't know why her stories aren't being pushed. I don't know why there's not support. The only common denominator is that she's writing about people that are black, and these people over here are writing about people that are white, and she's not writing like the woe is me black characters.
Yeah.
Like it's
Those
college.
are the ones that sell.
Yeah, those are the ones that sell.
You're talking about something.
Yeah,
man.
those are the ones
Yeah,
that sell.
those are the ones that sell. But like just the romantic comedies written by black girls with black characters don't sell. And I have a white boy as one of my main protagonists, and it's still.
But hold up, here's the thing though.
I mean, I sold good to be a first-time indie author, but
I still haven't seen any of that money, by the way. That hurts my heart. I thought we were family.
but looking at it, I'm just like, dang! Like all
But-
these white women are thriving.
Okay, but check this out. Here's my thing. Here's something that I've seen almost every time with black artists.
Yeah.
That's how they label themselves, right? That's their brand. Okay?
Like black?
Yeah.
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 Like, I'm black. And what you do is you automatically create a market.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
And white authors, they don't do that.
Yes, they do, but they
Some
don't do
do.
it in a way.
Some no, but look, listen. They can't help that they're white. I can't help.
Yeah.
Like I know for a fact. Like I've thought about it. I'll tell you right now. I've thought
Okay.
about the Latino angle. Okay, I've thought about doing stuff in Spanish because I know my people, man.
They're gonna get
Oh,
Yeah.
don't worry. I thought
No,
about
if she
doing
wanted
a
to
Black
sell a
Lives-
book, if she wanted to sell a book, she could easily just
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
"Oh, this is me.
Yeah, I'm black.
I'm
and
black, and I'm
da,
black,
da,
and
da,
black."
yeah, yeah.
But the white people, they do it in a way that
I don't
they don't
think
say
that's
they're
fair,
white,
man.
but they do
They
it
can't
enough to
help.
be-
They can't help who they are.
but
though.
look, that's
No,
what-
but
what
they
I'm telling you.
They are the choice. They don't have to do
That's
that.
what
They
I'm
don't have to
saying.
do that.
That's what I'm saying. But
Ain't
so
gonna be the majority of people that
there has to
are
be
reading
that.
books
That's
are white.
like for me, that is true. They don't have to do that. Then when the question I ask is like, is it their fault though? It's
No.
it's like even in
Absolutely
Latin culture.
not.
I
Yeah.
told you, my own grandma told me I need to get a light skinned girl. My dad's nickname is Negro. That means black guy.
Negro.
That's how dark he is. It compared to the family. His mom told me I need a light skinned girl. Like that's a cultural thing that
Yeah, that's a cultural
transcends.
thing.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
in the Arab world after the Arab Spring, the Arabs went and started killing the black Arabs. The black Egyptians started killing them because they're not of their kind.
Let me tell
Like,
you the damn
No, I,
problem.
That's a culture,
I
you know
I
what
want
I'm
to
definitely
tell I'm
don't-
gonna tell you why it's a problem.
Why is it a problem?
I gotta bring this in.
Tell me.
Did you see when Elizabeth Warren she gave her speech to a graduating class of some college, some black college, and she was like, "Black people have been systematically oppressed for years."
Uh-huh.
This white woman
That's beautiful.
speaking on behalf, no, but it's stupid,
It's so
and
beautiful.
that's a
Listen,
problem.
I'm not blaming the white authors. They have their
J.K. Rowling,
like,
you're
faithful-
amazing.
Yeah, J.K.
they
Rowling's
ha-
pretty
okay, I'm
amazing.
talking about indie authors.
Harry Potter.
I'm talking about indie authors. I'm not blaming the indie white authors. They have their group of faithful readers, and they have figured out a way how to market themselves and make it work. I'm not blaming them. I'm just. It's
There's
just,
a culture there. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's
and,
a
it,
culture,
and,
yeah,
it-
it's
and
a
it's
culture.
weird that it's like diversity. Everyone's like diversity, diversity, but then you have these black authors creating diversity, and they get no play unless it's with the higher agenda of black. Like,
Yeah, I got you.
why can't I have a normal story but have my black characters?
Because we need more people like you that commit to the process. That's the thing. It's a long road. And
Yeah.
it is so easy to latch on to the identity that everyone else is rolling
Yeah.
with. And not enough people are willing to set themselves apart based off pure talent, based off pure ability.
Yeah.
That's just,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it is. You're right. It's a culture thing. I don't think it's like this nefarious evil force that's at play
Yeah.
because it's worldwide. We could go all the way back in history and point to some arbitrary moment and be like, that's when colored people started being hated. I don't know when that moment is. I agree. You can see the difference. I don't think it's fair to hold it against our white friends and the white Americans. But the other thing too is
Love you, Chelsea. Chelsea's my favorite. friend. She's
No, but you gotta
Shout
understand.
out
We're
to
just,
Chelsea.
pointing it out. We're not saying
No,
that
no, I
it's
know.
the problem.
I know. I
Yeah.
know.
We're
I
just
know that
pointing
that's
it
what
out.
you're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
I know that's what you're doing. I don't think enough people are doing that. So
Yeah.
how do you? Because I've asked Justin, how do you deal with this with your boys and Journey? Do you deal with it at all? Do
What,
you,
like racism,
yeah, the
color?
whole race thing.
You know
social
what,
issues.
Journey-
I mean, I know you're gonna isolate them and do homeschooling now. That's not a bad idea. I'm thinking about the same thing.
The boys, I don't think they have an idea of race yet. Journey, some person out there, I don't know who it was. It might have been a family member, it might have been a random person, made a comment on how she was darker than the boys. And ever since then, she's kind of been like, she hasn't done it in a while, but she'll look at her skin and be like, I'm darker. Like, the boys are white, but I'm darker. And then she'll put it by me and she'll be like, oh, I'm like you, Mom. And so I just have to explain to her, I'm like, the boys aren't white. They're like, we're all, when you put the black gene with anything, you're going to get, me and my sisters are all 3 different shades. So like, that's the only skin race thing we've had to deal with. But I don't, other than that, I don't entertain it. Like, if it's,
Yeah, it's not
if
a
it's
race
her and her identity, then I'll entertain it. Same with the boys. But you're not, you being black is not a setback. You being black is amazing. And you can do so much with that. And it doesn't define you, but it is part of you.
Yeah,
And you're not going to be a victim because you're black. Like, I don't
I
want
don't
to hear.
think they're gonna go through because
You guys
their
are so controversial.
their grandparents
You're
are
so tricky.
their grandma's white. They have a grandma and a grandpa that's black, and all their cousins are Latina. So
And they
we're-
have
Those are the worst.
and a mixed cousin. And
And
then they
a-
have Tegan and
and then we got
Tatum,
black
who are
cousins, like
a
it's-
different shade
The
of-
whole family's
yeah.
mixed, so
we're
you
all
can't.
mixed and
there's
beautiful.
no
and
race.
it works, right?
And it works.
And it's-
And it worked, yeah. So then I don't think they're really gonna have to. They're not gonna see that.
I just don't want my kid, even now, like my poor Titus is such a crybaby. And I teach him, like, you are
Ooh.
not a victim. You are not a victim. You are not a victim. And like, he had, like, don't go through life thinking that everything's happening to you. Like, the world doesn't care that much about you. It's not all
That's the
about
truth.
you, you know?
Yeah, it's not about
So
you.
he needs, I just don't want them to be victims, any of them.
We talked about this. You brought it up just now, telling Titus not to cry. Now you had told me. How do you feel about what masculinity is becoming in the U.S. today? Do you think it's okay? Would you disagree? You're kind of scoffing.
I wish
I know
Titus-
Justin
okay.
doesn't fit the mold for what they want masculinity to be today.
And I don't ever.
How do you view? Before we even get, how do you view the current view of masculinity in America, and then how do you handle that as a woman with boys?
I feel like masculinity in America, I was just about to post about this actually. I feel like men are under attack right now. Like, all men. Because all of a sudden, all men are bad men. And all men are, like, you're too tough, you're too manly. You need to not be that way. And I really hate that. I have a traditional sense when I think of a man. You need to be
How's
strong.
that?
You need to be strong. You need to be confident. You need to be, like, gentle. Men are the good men in my life, my daddy and my husband, are so like stoic and strong and unwavering, like, men. But then they're so gentle. They're so gentle and they're so loving. Like, that's part of manhood too. But you don't have to dumb your stoicness and your what's another word?
I think it's a good word. I mean, it's weird. It's funny because
Masculinity.
Masculinity.
as you're
yeah.
trying to explain masculinity, you can't help but kind of get stuck. It's almost like this
Yeah,
word that
and-
we don't understand what it means.
Yeah. And I'm not like, oh, be tough and break things and be. No, but, like, don't make this world think that you can't be like that. You are 2 parts. Even my daughter is 2 parts. Where I feel we all have masculinity in us and we all have femininity in us.
Feminine traits, yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. And some men are, like, Titus is more emotional than Teo.
This thing keeps coming off.
What is that?
It's the charger.
Oh.
This thing will die on us.
Titus is more emotional than
Yeah.
Teo. And I'm not every day with Titus. I'm not like, stop crying. You can't be emotional. You can't feel. But Titus is now 4, so now I'm trying to teach him, like, we can cry and we can be upset, but because
You
you're
can't
little,
let your emotions control you.
you can't let your emotions control you. We have to learn how to control them. Even with Journey, like, don't stop crying. Journey doesn't cry that much.
No.
No.
That's kinda tough.
And Journey has more masculinity in her than femininity.
The feminine
Is that what
trait.
you say? The
That's easier.
feminine
I think
traits.
that's feminine trait.
The feminine trait. So,
You talking about like when you say that, you mean like emotionally?
Like
She's-
emotionally.
she's
She's a
Yeah,
tougher.
she's
tough.
tougher.
She jokes.
she jokes. And,
and that even that's not allowed,
But
right?
she
Like what
is
we just
sensitive.
said, you can't. Why does strong, stoic have to be masculine, and then gentle,
Yeah, it's
soft
not.
have to be
Yeah,
it's
feminine?
not.
Right?
But it's not, like, yeah, but this
not.
is the,
I feel like female strength is very different. It's very different than male strength, and I think the truth is, you can see that when you say that's a strong woman.
yeah,
I don't think you expect to see the same thing as when you say that's a strong man.
yeah,
And it's not physical either. For example, Desiree has a level of emotional strength with what goes on in this household that I just cannot.
yeah.
I don't have that level of patience. I
Yeah.
can't be the constant, like, positive person
Yeah.
in the stress that she goes through with the kids and with things around the house, with finance, all that stuff. That's not me. But when it comes to, like, there's this concern about stuff coming down on us with the unit, with whatever, with family, whatever, she leans on me.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that has to stay strong no matter what's going on, all that stuff. But it's different, right? It's different.
Yeah.
There's, but I think that's I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that we as men are under attack. I like to deal with it with sarcasm because I think it's funny. I mean, my woman is strong and she's a stay-at-home wife,
Yeah.
working harder than I work. I like to say I'm going to the office, not I'm going to work because it's different. But
Yeah. I'm scared, like, the current climate around masculinity and men, I'm so scared for my boys to, like, grow up in this climate because they're already, my friend was telling me her older son was in class and this girl yelled out, "He touched my private part." Luckily, the teacher was, like, right there and she was like, say the little girl's name was Susie. Susie, he didn't touch your private part. Stop saying that. But, like, we were talking about it, and what if the teacher wasn't there? Like, the boy would it's not innocent until proven guilty anymore. It's guilty. Oh, you're a man. You must have done that. And that's so weird. And, yeah, I'm so happy that my boys have Justin as a dad because I think he's a great example of how a man can be like when people see Justin and if he's not smiling like right now,
this has got that strong
he's
RBF
so,
right now.
yeah, he's so intimidating. Like, and he's strong and he's tough, but like you see him with his kids and he's this,
He's a clown. He
yeah,
was dancing a Thriller. That
Yeah.
You see me
pretty
killing
cute.
it?
Oh, it's cute, man.
Killing it,
I just
bro.
wanted to hug you.
Thanks.
I'm always trying to find a reason to hug Justin. He won't let me.
you let him hug
What about
you.
hugging G? You know, that weakness.
So
It's weird.
what
man.
I'm thinking too is like while you're speaking, I know it's real easy for people to dismiss Justin and me because we're conservative dudes,
Yeah.
men
Yeah.
in position of power. We represent the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Down with the patriarchy.
Yeah, I'm actually starting a counter movement down with the matriarchy.
Hey.
So, 2019, leave the negativity behind. In
I
2018.
just don't like. How did we?
Why
get
do you
there?
think what you think? Do you feel like Justin is the reason? Do you feel like religion? What is the reason that you, as a woman, are you being oppressed? What do you attribute for the reason you think the way you think?
Everyone always asks. My other friend always asks me this, and I'm
Why?
like, I don't know.
Does she disagree with you? Or?
No, I think that a lot of people have a foundation, and their foundation is either the Bible or something. And I think that Justin and I kind of confuse people because
You confuse me all the time.
Yeah,
I
I
told you
think-
you're an anomaly to me. Doesn't make sense. Talking about
I think
the Bible, God, the universe.
Listen, this is why I think the
Aries.
way I think, because of life. Like, life is the biggest teacher, and if you're awake, you'll get it. And I don't think I'm on this journey. I have not arrived yet. I'm still trying to learn things. So in one season, I might have said like, Jesus is the answer. Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus is everything. And in the next season, I might be like, wait, I don't know. I learned something and now I'm confused, or I went through something and now I'm confused. And now I'm in this kind of sweet spot of like, okay, all of that bad stuff happened, but like, what do you think now? I'm constantly questioning myself, challenging myself, trying to get wherever I feel like I'm supposed to get. And I love that. I hope I never arrive. But life is my teacher. I think the way I think. My beliefs are the way they are because with each season comes lessons that I learn.
So you think that if you're paying attention, these conclusions you're making, would you say they're universal? The role, but the differences between men and women, the fact that you can be a strong woman without having to usurp a man's authority, these kind of things, are these universal? When I say universal, here's what I don't mean.
Like ultimate truth?
Yeah, I'm not asking does everybody have to agree with it.
Okay.
But like gravity, whether you agree with it or not, whether you believe in it or not, it is what it is. That's what I'm at. Do you believe that about your beliefs? Conceding that people can reject them? Or are you like, nah, that's just kind of... Absolutely
not. My beliefs and my journey is mine. Like, which is why I'm like, whatever my kids, like, arrive at is what they arrive at. Whatever my friends believe is what they believe. I'm not here to say, well, life taught me this, and this is the truth, and whether you accept that or not, that's your issue. That's none of my business. What you believe and what you're learning is none of my business. What you arrive at is none of my business. I'm just at peace with my journey. I'm just trying to figure it out. And I really wish more humans would be honest, like would be okay with saying, I don't really know. Like I'm learning. I tell Journey every day, like, I'm learning with you. Like, I don't want to do stuff. I'm learning here. We're learning versus like, I'm an adult. I'm set in my ways. I arrived. I don't think you should ever get complacent in life. And sometimes I think belief systems, communities, the people around you will feed into your complacency. Like they will make it okay to not ask questions, to not change, to not challenge yourself. That was a long-winded answer, but yeah,
that's kind of killed it though.
Yeah, that's where I got.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, and this is part of the reason why Justin and I got real deep in our conversation right off the bat is I learned a few years ago that whether we're aware of it or not, our worldviews will, determine really how we engage with other people. Mm-hmm. You know, how many times have I heard people condemning, I've been one of them, condemning people with faith as if people of faith are just hypocrites and whatever, mm-hmm. and then turn around and myself, like I said, included, condemning all other people and judging all other people. Mm-hmm. Oh, those religious folk are so judgmental, and then, that person's stupid, and that person's fat, and that person's ugly, and I'm better than that. Mm-hmm. But I came to understand our worldviews, really, they again, whether you can express it clearly or not, right, whether it's theologically sound or not, how we understand who we are, who the people are around us, what we're doing here, I have found really defines like how we treat each other.
Oh, absolutely. And when Justin and I went through our journey of getting hurt by the church and like just kind of not, you guys know Justin's story. He's talked about it on here. I saw a lot of true colors of a lot of Christians who said they were our friends and said, but then they were nowhere to be found when we were like, but wait, what is this? Like, we're figuring it out. Like, we were so condemned by family members who, you guys are in the church too much. And now that we're not in the church, you guys are condemning us. Yeah, like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So I've just learned that my journey is my journey. And oh, wait, you said something about judgment, and I wanted to talk about that. I think judgment gets a bad... I was listening to a podcast, and this lady said judgment...
You gotta stay away from it.
She said judgment gets a bad rep. We're all here to judge. Mm-hmm. We're all here to...
I thought you locked the door. We got a guest in here now.
What do you need?
You need help?
Oh. Okay. we're all here to say yes or no to everything. It's okay to judge. Yes, I believe in that. That doesn't fit right with me. I love how you're living your life. I don't like how you're living your life. You're here to judge and to decide what sits well with you.
I like that.
But it's not okay to make someone feel bad because you don't agree with them. It's okay for me to not agree with you, but I don't have to make you feel less than. I don't have to be hateful towards you. You can judge people and things, but not in a...
You can't condemn.
You can't condemn.
You're not the judge.
Don't
No,
condemn.
you're not.
You're
Yeah,
not the
judge.
judge.
Don't,
And
yeah.
then judge, the term has different meanings, right? If I judge the distance from here to there, I'm not doing a value assessment.
Right.
I'm just determining how far I have to go.
Yeah.
If I judge that your lifestyle is not appropriate for me, I'm not devaluing or increasing your value.
Yeah.
I'm just determining, is this appropriate for me? Is it not appropriate for me? Condemnation is that's one of those where you put yourself in the seat of just being above somebody, and you say, I can now determine your value and where you belong in life, and so on and so forth.
Like, and we even have people who don't believe in God. We're angry at us for being like, we're not going to church right now. We're putting a pause on it. Like, so many people condemned us, and
I've had people that I used to preach to and used to get mad at me for preaching when I left the church. They got mad at me for leaving the church.
That's what you get. That's what you get for leaving the
And
church.
we're like,
People.
and I don't know if, like, I know one person you're talking about, and I think it's because your influence on him is so, like,
a lot of people depend on you more than you think.
Yeah, and I think it hurt a lot of people that, like, what? Justin and Tori don't believe in God anymore?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you found out something real dark about me that I did, I feel like you would really look at me like, dang, like not even G can stick to the things that he, especially with your experience with the church.
No.
You being you, I bet you would be cool with me. I know you would still be cool with me, but I would be surprised if you didn't think that.
No, because I would have thought of that, but now I wouldn't.
Yeah, because now I feel like our whole church experience taught us to not put humans on a pedestal.
Like you're learning like me.
We're learning. We're all learning, and
I already passed my test.
G has arrived.
I got my degree. Good to go. Don't put that on me. I'm not studying anymore.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah,
we're all learning,
Yeah.
and if you can just accept that, then, and don't put anyone on a pedestal. I'm not here for you to like think that I've arrived and I have all the answers. I'm just me, and I'm on my journey. And if you would stop putting me on a pedestal, you could focus on your own journey and go over there. But yeah, man, we saw some true colors when we were just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
People got mad.
But speaking about learning, now here we're going to do a very smooth and unnoticeable transition. Segue into the book, man. I really wanted you to get a chance to talk about it because you're talking about learning and going through that journey. How about give us a brief synopsis about how all this came to fruition in your first...
Well, first of all, I want to say, G, thank you for reading my book.
Oh, yeah,
because
it's
my
on
sweet
point.
husband
It's on
has
point, dude.
yet to
I'm
read
not
the book.
like... I don't like fiction,
Do you?
and I crushed that book.
But do you
in
remember?
3 days.
Do you remember how we were talking about like people's journeys in life experiences?
Yeah, and I remember you
Through
telling
my-
me you hated
through
your wife's
my-
work.
through
and
my-
when she failed,
Through
throwing
my
salt on
life
her.
experiences and my journey, I've come to realize that I hate young adult books. So,
But I don't like them either.
Justin
can't,
helped
like-
me with so many
I
scenes,
helped her
though.
with it,
He really
but I
helped
didn't
a
want to
lot.
read it.
Yeah,
Because I can't. I don't like
This
it.
doesn't- yeah. I mean, listen, this is the guy who tells me I'm super close-minded. I've read the stuff he's given me. And I get that I've given you cheesy stuff. I get it. I promise you.
Remember that book? Remember that book that
Yes.
he gave me? And you was like, "What the heck is that?"
no,
Yeah,
but
no, I
he-
get it.
But
I
he
get
put
it.
it in the. You should have read it. He
I
put
did.
it in
I
the
read. I
closet.
read the first 2 pages, and I was like,
That's
I
what I'm saying.
can't.
Talking about me being close-minded. I
Read
read
this.
this thick philosophy book.
How good was it? Though?
It's just garbage.
He's such a liar.
Fundamentally nonsense.
Okay.
It was fundamentally flawed from the get, and I
Okay.
read it. Anyways, that's a whole different thing. You're welcome. It was a great book. Now tell the family how it came about. Yeah, and tell them the title. Tell them what you want to tell them.
So the title is P.S. Forgive My Adolescence. And how it came about is I kind of...
Well, this is Titus, everybody.
This is Titus.
This
Listen
is
to
real
this.
life.
Listen to what's about to happen.
This is real life.
So when we were going through our church
Yeah.
situation, we stopped going to church. I didn't have too many Christian friends to lean on, except shout out to Chelsea.
Hey, did you lock the door?
I did.
Good.
Cool.
Chelsea is a sweetheart who's been with me through my whole journey and has never judged me. She's amazing.
Chelsea's
But
awesome.
yeah, she
She's
is.
really cool.
But all my other Christian friends were kind of gone, like ghosted, gone. And I kind of just fell into writing. And this was a hard, ridiculous season. We were living with my parents. We were in Indiana. Every time Justin and I go to Indiana,
No, it's World War III.
it's World War III. We're like on the brink of divorce every time we go. It's horrible. So we lived there for a year and a half.
A year.
A year.
A year.
And we were like, it was just hard. Every situation in Indiana was hard. Everything was hard. And I was like, I'm just going to write a book. Because I didn't have church to go to. I didn't have the solace of like religion and Jesus to fall back on. And I was like, I'm going to, maybe if I flush everything out, it'll all come out. So I started writing in 2015.
Is
that when we lived there? 2015.
Yeah, 2015, yeah.
And then I finally published it in 2018. And I had this thought in my head is what would you do if the person that you love and the person that was responsible for so much joy and happiness in your life was also responsible for so much pain? And that question came from the church. Like, I love Jesus and I love the church, and it was so much joy and it was so much of my identity. And then it was responsible for so much pain and confusion and hurt. So I guess it's kind of like, it's not an allegory, but I probably should have made it an allegory because that's kind of the catalyst.
Reading it, knowing you a little bit, like I definitely could see.
Yeah.
Knowing your story, and I could see that. I remember that's why I hit you up. Like, it's interesting that you've done this with the characters, and you've talked about how you wrestled with this kind of thing. And I think that most of our works of art reflect kind of the heart behind what's going on with us.
Yeah, and it's not like, I'm sure I published the book, and I'm sure there's some better editing that could have happened, and better storytelling, and better whatever. But I'm so proud of that story.
Yeah, you
like
should be.
I'm
was
so
really
proud
good.
of it. Yeah,
It was really good.
I really like it.
Yeah, so the book, once again, is P.S. Forgive My Adolescence
On Amazon.
on Amazon. Make sure you check it out. You can get the Kindle version for what? It's like $2?
It's $2.99.
$2.99.
And the
Yeah,
paperback for what?
it's
is
like
Oh, y'all need to stop
$12.99.
being cheap.
for
She-
real.
No, listen,
man.
because she did a free giveaway. How many people got the? They could have
Like
spent $2.99.
150.
150 people got the
150 people.
free download, and nobody wanted to support her and pay $2.99
$2.99.
getting on y'all heads. Because I was right here, and she took. How long did it take you to write? 3 years.
3 years.
It took her 3 years to write this book, and y'all just want to be cheap and get it for free.
That's another thing.
Yeah,
When we put out, so as you guys know, my grandpa recently passed, right?
yeah.
And I put
I'm
out
sorry
the
about that.
GoFundMe thing. And there's a story there too, but how, like, it tripped me out. I was like, is it a reflection of me that nobody, like, 3 people gave?
Wow.
Is it a reflection of me that nobody gave, or is it a reflection of like everybody else that's how we are?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's not a reflection of your book. It's not a reflection of you. I wonder when people flock because it's free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one of those things. Talking about how people are today, it's kind of tragic because, like, us here, like, I'm trying. I'm not perfect, but I do try with the people in my life to try to have that impact. This podcast is kind of the brainchild of these 2 dudes that are like, man, like,
Yeah.
we're talking about stuff that matters. Let's get people to think about this stuff. But yeah, it's kind of tragic that people would do that, because the book is good, guys. P.S. Forgive My Adolescence.
Yeah.
It's a good book. I crushed it in like 3 days. It's not good enough for the hubby to read it, but that's okay.
It's all good.
Won't hold it against him.
Yeah.
My wife's reading it right now. Yeah, man, go check it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no, but
also, though, if you're an artist, though, don't do that to yourself, especially if you're a new artist. Because I'm like,
Don't do what?
don't be like, dang, like, I spent 3 years on this and it's made me a couple $100. Like,
if you're an
don't-
artist, man, you don't need to be validated by nobody.
You don't.
I hate that. Okay.
You don't.
Let
Yeah,
me just go
go
on a
on.
little tangent.
Here you go. Here we go. Justin's
I
here.
don't like when people like you're an artist regardless of how much you make. So I hate when people wait to be validated by dollar signs for their artistry. Like I got a friend who's very talented hip hop producer. His name is Kwame. He's very talented musically. But like he doesn't have like a lot of support, but it doesn't mean that he's not an artist. But all of a sudden you get like a little pump who sucks. But everybody flocks to him and his art is validated because of how much money he makes. So if he was like 30 years old and he was a rapper, he would be oh man, you still rapping, you 30. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now you're a rapper because you make some money. Now you're validated. You're an artist regardless.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that goes back to like the indie author world. Like you see so many sucky writers getting paid, making a living off of their mediocre or less than mediocre books. And then you have my friend Nicole, and I don't know how much she makes. But I'm like, girl, I read her series and like
What's the
I
book?
read
Which one is it?
it's the what is the series called?
I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. They're on her shelf.
Oh, this is gonna bug me. Her newer book is called Pushing 30, and that's a standalone. But she has a series with 3 books. I'm forgetting the name.
We'll put it in the
we'll have to put it in the
description for
notes.
video, yeah.
She's so talented, and it's like because she's not out here making the perfect. No, even her Instagram's perfect. Like I don't know.
It's
what's
tough.
happening.
Marketing is a
Marketing is
skill
tough.
too.
Yeah,
Marketing
it
is
is.
a skill.
It is.
Right? That's why people get good money.
Yeah.
Just being hired to market. It is
Yeah.
a skill. And yeah, I mean, how many downloads? I don't even know how many downloads we got.
don't even care.
And I know we got gold, so you know what I'm saying.
I don't ever
Yeah.
care. I don't think I've ever looked at the number because I do this for fun.
Yeah, he's really good at like turning that side off.
That's what he said.
But I'm just like, dang, like I just
Yeah, I do this for fun.
wanna. It would be nice to get.
Let me say something. It's the idea. So I agree with what you said about artistry, about not needing validation. I agree with that 100%. Even though I will say that I think it's ingrained in us. We see it from our children doing stuff just to get mom and dad to smile.
Yeah.
But I agree. You don't need to be validated, right? But when you're spending time and effort,
Yeah, you want to get rewarded
something,
for it.
I feel like it's appropriate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even biblically speaking, the labor deserves his wages.
Yep.
If you're
Yeah.
producing something of quality, you should expect.
Mhm.
Like, you are correct in expecting some sort of compensation. We need to tailor our expectations based off where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's
we
true.
just started. We don't know that many people. We're not out,
We're not Joe
Bro,
Rogan.
sharing our stuff. Yeah, we're not Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
It's
He's
okay.
legit though. He's
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, and that's okay.
But some people suck
yeah.
and they get it.
But they know, because that's the thing, is like they know the right people.
Yep.
They know how to,
Yep.
and that's fine. That's
Yep.
part of the craft.
That's part of it.
That is part of
That's
it.
not part of the. That's part
not
of the
part
business
That's part of their
craft.
business.
That's not part of writing.
I don't know.
Maybe
it's
it is.
ridiculous.
I mean, if you're gonna put your stuff out there, you gotta include. Like, if you're just doing short stories for you,
Yeah.
that's one thing.
but
But if you're gonna
put it out
share
there,
it,
yeah.
Yeah.
you're gonna wanna. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Now-
Networking's hard.
For everybody who's listened this far, appreciate your love. We love you guys.
Hold up, before we leave.
No, we're not leaving.
Oh, we're not.
No, but go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Oh, because I wanted to get on her next book that she's writing.
Oh, go ahead.
To give us a little bit about the book that you're writing now,
Uh,
and kind of give us like a little overview of what is in store.
This is gonna be it's gonna be a series. So a 3-part book.
It's
Coming
the first
of
book
age.
of a 3-part
Of
series.
three.
Yep. A coming of age story. I probably won't release the first book until I'm done with the second book.
We'll see what happens.
But it's a coming of age story about a promiscuous girl and her journey. And I'm kind of like doing the journey of womanhood, trying to make it an allegory of the journey of like redemption. So that's where I'm at. It has the bones to be a
Okay.
really good story,
Cool.
but it's gonna take some time. So don't expect it anytime
But she's working on it, though.
I
That's
am
awesome.
working on it. Yeah.
Do you have a title yet?
I do, but I can't tell you
You
yet
can-
because I don't have copyrights. we can't put it
Ah,
out there.
you go. That's smart.
Can't put it out there yet.
Well, what I wanted to share with the audience is we should have done this. Is how you know we're amateurs. 'Cause this was the first part. Is you telling your side of your guys' story.
Ooh.
We got a little bit of time. If you want to go ahead and share what it was for you meeting this stud over here and what you think of him
Stud
now
muffin.
and where we're going next.
I definitely wasn't a stud muffin back then. I was just a muffin.
You were a muffin. He
I
was
was-
so fat and cute.
I know what I said. say anything.
Oh, you were so round. It was just like chunky.
What's up?
Justin, I knew that Justin was the one because he, first of all, it felt like our souls just like clicked. We were both the outcasts in our families. And I was always like waiting to feel like to be somewhere where I belonged. And when I met Justin, it felt like I belonged. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. Yeah, even at the young age.
Look at him.
Yeah. And he.
When we meet, yeah, 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what attracted me was he, until this day, he is what you see is what you get. I'm not putting on performances. I'm not going to say this to, is it lick your butt? No, what is that term?
Lick your ass.
Yeah.
No, to kiss
To
your
kiss
ass.
your ass. Jeez, like what?
Kiss your butt.
That made
Yeah.
me uncomfortable.
Lick your. Yeah, to kiss your butt.
Yeah, he's not an ass kisser.
There we go.
What you see is what you get, and he's so his mind. Like I had a boyfriend where if I would have picked like to be with him, I knew exactly how our life was gonna go. It would have been like easy cookie cutter
Lick your.
life. Justin's still laughing over his
Oh,
face.
that was hilarious. All right, go, man.
But then when Justin came along, I was like, I don't know what our lives would be like, and it would be fun to go on this journey with you. And it's been a fun
Were you already
ride.
planning on joining the military when you guys
No.
first got together?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Damn.
Who would, for the record, who influenced you
Your
to
dad.
join the military?
Your dad.
Yes, not me.
I seen what he was doing. I was like, man, he's like take care of his family, and it would be fun to travel and all that. So yeah, he was a big influence on.
Which is
on me.
funny because I'm like, I never would have thought that I'd be living my parents' life,
Mm.
but I'm living my
Yeah.
parents' life. But it's just been such a fun journey with him, and I like all the twists and turns with him. I would definitely say I'm like the solid person in the relationship. I am as much as I'm the artist, he's definitely the free spirit. That's
Yeah,
like,
let's
just have
I've
fun.
changed a lot.
Let's not know any of the answers.
We have no answers.
And I'm
And
like,
his favorite phrase, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't
because
care.
I don't care.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I'm gonna get upset about it, but I don't care.
That's right.
I'm gonna get riled up about it, but I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm one of those people that doesn't care. That
I
cares
forget about it
everything.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm very
So now you're getting ready for some time apart,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of our listeners are in the military community. What are you, for this being your first time, what are some things that you're feeling? What are some things that have helped you prepare best you can?
Oh man, I feel like I've been a ball of anxiety for the past 2 years. Like ever since he decided to go on this part of the military. But recently I've had some like clear-cut clarification of like just trust. Like you just gotta trust that it's gonna work out. Even we call it worst case scenario. Like worst case scenario, it will still be okay. Like yes, that's gonna be a learning curve, but it'll be okay. I'm crying. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the challenge of it. Like you only grow through challenges. We get to be apart. I have to do stuff on my own. He has to do stuff on his own. And I'm trying to remember that, like, even on my hardest day, he has it worse. Like, at least I get to be in my home with my kids. He definitely got the shorter end of the stick. So I'm, that's how I'm feeling. It is what it is. It's coming.
What would you tell a young lady or maybe even a husband who is in your shoes or will be in your shoes like later on?
To not over, I mean, it's hard not to overthink, especially women, because I'll just play all scenarios in my head all day. But to take a step back, take a breath, and just trust the journey. Like, it's going to be okay. Yeah. You're always, I believe that the human spirit will always land on its 2 feet. Kind of like a cat. Like, no matter what, you're going to be okay. And to just not stress. And to also have things in plan. Like, I know you and Desiree inspired us to get some books that we can read together so that we can have something to talk about. And yeah, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. Just try not to stress too much and have things planned. Like, I have the whole first half of my year planned.
Oh,
I
God,
have
yeah.
things to do. I have goals to keep me preoccupied. Yeah.
Well, it's exciting to see how's it gonna go down. Don't worry, I'll be babysitting him.
Yeah, he'll
It'll
be
be
here for a
alright.
little bit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, if you listen to this whole thing, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Oh, next episode is Desiree.
Yeah, my missus, my
Yes.
better half.
To
That's
close
right.
out the season.
Yeah, we'll be the last episode of the season before
Yes.
we part ways for a little while. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to iTunes, YouTube,
Yeah.
Google Play, wherever. And don't be selfish. Share the love if you enjoy this.